Hello, little explorers. Welcome to our amazing story corner. Today, we have an adventure that will blow you away. Have you ever felt tiny in front of a giant problem, like it was impossible to win? Well, get ready, because today we're traveling thousands of years back in time to meet a young shepherd with a heart bigger than any giant. It's a story full of action, bravery, and lots of faith. Ready to meet David and the fearsome Goliath? Buckle up your imagination seatbelts because this Bible story is coming to life like never before. Here we go. A long time ago, in the valley of Elah, two armies stood face to face. The Israelites, God's people, and the Philistines, their enemies. But there was a big problem, a giant problem. His name was Goliath. He was taller than any man, stronger than any beast. And every morning, his voice boomed across the valley like thunder, shouting a challenge that no one dared to accept. With laughter and taunts, the giant asked if there was any man in Israel brave enough to face him in single combat. But far from the battlefield, in the peaceful hills of Bethlehem, lived David, the youngest of 8 brothers, a simple shepherd. No one would have thought he had a part to play in this great story. But David had something special, a brave heart and unshakable faith in God. One day, his father sent him to bring supplies to his older brothers, who were soldiers on the front lines. David arrived at the camp and, for the first time, heard the giant's thundering voice. He saw the soldiers, strong and trained men, trembling with fear. David asked out loud who this man was to defy the armies of the living God. David's words, full of faith and courage, did not go unnoticed. Someone heard his passion and ran to tell King Saul. The king told him he was only a boy, that he couldn't fight against such an experienced warrior. David didn't need a king's armor. His protection was much more powerful, his faith in God. Refusing the king's armor, David took his own shepherd's gear, his staff in his hand, and his trusty sling. 5 smooth stones. To the world, it was madness. For David, it was 5 chances for God to show his power. Armed with his faith, his sling, and a few simple stones, David walked toward the giant. But the adventure doesn't have to end here. You can become an adventure messenger. How? It's easy. Just hit the share button and send this story to your friends and family. Imagine them discovering these incredible feats and characters for the first time. The moment had arrived. The giant versus the shepherd. Brute force against unshakable faith. The giant saw him coming and scoffed, asking if they were sending a boy with sticks to fight him as if he were a dog. But David didn't flinch. He looked up, and with a voice that echoed with a power that wasn't his own, he declared to the giant that he came with swords and spears, but that he, David, came in the name of the Lord Almighty, the God of Israel. He announced that on that very day, everyone on earth would know that the battle is not won with weapons, because the battle belongs to the Lord. And without a moment's hesitation, David swung his sling over his head. Once, twice, 3 times, the air whistled, and he let it fly. The giant had fallen. The Philistine champion was defeated by a young shepherd armed only with a sling and a mighty faith. And so, a young shepherd, the youngest of his brothers, showed that true strength doesn't come from size or weapons, but from a heart full of faith in God. David trusted in the Lord, and God gave him victory over a problem that seemed impossible to overcome. Wow, what did you think of that incredible story? It teaches us something super important, right? Sometimes in our own lives, we face giants. Problems at school, fears that paralyze us, situations that seem too big for us to handle. Have you ever felt like David before the battle? Or like the soldiers? A little bit scared? That's normal. But David's story reminds us that we are not alone. God is with us, and if we trust in Him like David did, He will give us the strength and courage to face any challenge. It doesn't matter if we feel small or weak. With God, we are stronger than we can ever imagine. He can use anyone, even the most unexpected person. to do wonderful things. Families, this is a great story to talk about together. Ask your little ones, what giants are they facing? How can they trust in God like David? And let us know, which of the exciting stories from the Bible do you want to see in a future video with us? We'll be reading your comments. Thanks for joining us on this incredible adventure of faith. Always remember, no giant is too big when God is on our side. Keep exploring, keep believing, and we'll see you in the next story. Until next time, brave explorers.